What is up? What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Matt Ramage Show. You know what I mean? It is, what today is it? It's Tuesday. You know what I mean? And the Packers coming off the bye week. We got lots to talk about. Talking about Christian Watson coming back, the injuries, Joe Flacco being traded to the Bengals. We're going to see what's going on with that. But before we start this thing, big shout out to the great sponsors of this show, you know what I mean? And Kwik Trip has a bake sale coming up, you know what I mean? When everyone talks about like the Kwik Trip bakery items, you think about the glazers, you know, but they have so much more. They got cupcakes. They got these donuts with the peanuts on top, you know what I mean? I think they're called Persians or something. I'm not really sure exactly what they're called. I don't like the ones that are filled that much, like everyone else in the world does, but I don't like surprises. I want everything on top of the donut, you know what I mean? Put everything right on top of that thing. But they got the filled, they got the non-filled. They're fantastic. So check out the Kwik Trip Bakery department because I went on a tour, saw how that stuff is made. That's like a majestic place right there. But they got a lot of stuff going on. Rocking out for the bake sale. Be sure to check the Quick Rewards app. Find out all the details how you can win some stuff. You know what I mean? And also another great sponsor, Nicolet Law. If you get injured and insurance companies are being flaky, you're missing work, you know what I mean? Things ain't going well for you. Nicolet Law is going to help you get through that situation. Go to nicoletlaw.com and get after it. You know what I mean? Tell them Matt Ramage sent you. You know what I mean? Hopefully you don't need them. Here we go. We got a lot to talk about over here. We got Cedric busting up in the chat over here. He says, "Go Pack, go!" All right, so the Packers coming off a bye week. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but I do want to talk about a little bit about what happened in these games this last weekend. You know what I mean? And we have a lot to talk about. We got a new little background right here. You know what I mean? We got Trevor Lawrence over here. You know, I didn't pick the Jaguars to win that game. You know what I mean? But Trevor Lawrence definitely picked them. You know what I mean? He picked them. The most iconic picture, whatever, you know. That picture right there, I mean, not even that picture, because I saw it happen live. We were live streaming for that thing. For people listening on the audio podcast, that was a picture of Trevor Lawrence picking his nose. But on the live video, like, I knew, like, instantly, like, dude, that's going to be everywhere, dude. Trevor Lawrence. And the screenshot is just so perfect. It's funny. It's hilarious. But let's talk about that game a little bit, because I think his name is Chris Jones. Right, he's a linebacker for the Chiefs. Like after the game, because you know how the Jags kind of won that winning touchdown. Trevor Lawrence falls down, gets the ball snapped to him, falls down, gets up, kind of falls again, gets up, kind of runs in a circle, doesn't really know where he's going, runs it left side, gets in for a touchdown. Then after the game, Chris Jones, like in an interview I saw, I think it was him, said that was kind of a fluky touchdown. We should have won that game. We let it get away from us, this and that. But I'm like, dude, you didn't do anything on that play. He just stood there and watched, dude. He did as much on that play as I did. You know what I mean? He was just in the middle field, and he's just watching it all go down. You know what I mean? And I think he deleted his Twitter after that. But yeah, dude, the Chiefs didn't deserve to win that game. The Chiefs were not the better team. The Jaguars were the better team because the Jaguars won, like obviously a close game. But that whole game, remember, like early in the game, they're doing that quarterback sneak. Lawrence holds the ball out, fumbles it on the goal line, and the Chiefs go, the distance to get a touchdown. And there was like another an interception. They made a lot of mistakes in that game, and the Jaguars still won. The Jaguars were the better team, dude. Jaguars looked legit. I'm not saying that they're like Super Bowl contenders or whatever, but in that day, on that game, dude, Chiefs, understand you were not the best team, and that's why you didn't win that game. You know what I mean? But let's see what else Cedric's talking about. After all said and done, the Bears still suck. That is absolutely correct, Cedric. All right, hammer the chat if you want to talk about whatever. But so let's talk. Do you have some graphics over here for us, Mr. Producer Man Vince? Let's look at what happened this last weekend. Do you have that? I'm not sure if we have that. Do we have that? Oh yeah, we have. Let's talk about this real quick. Joe Flacco being acquired by the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, so I see a lot of people talking about this today. Um, Actually, not all day because I took a nap. You know what I mean? But when I woke up from my nap, Joe Flacco got traded to the Bengals. Like, will he play? I don't. I'm not really sure if he's going to play this week. Obviously, he's going to learn the offense. Like, I mean, I'm sure they could put something together. They could figure it out. He's been in the league for like 114 years, so he could they could get something going for him. The Bengals don't have a quarterback. They have the young guy. Maybe they go with him still, and they let Flacco get ready. But they've been getting absolutely trounced. They've been not doing well. They're not having a good time without Joe Burrow over there. But like people are like, well, now he's going to beat the Packers again. Like, he didn't beat the Packers, bro. The Packers didn't lose to the Bengals because of Joe Flacco. And I got all the respect in the world for Joe Flacco, you know? He's like my age, you know what I mean? But like he's been in the league for a long time and he's won some games but he didn't win that game. The Packers lost that game because because the Browns defense just totally dominated the line of scrimmage and just controlled and owned that game. It wasn't because of Joe Flacco. So Joe Flacco going for the Bengals, and the Packers are favored. What are they favored? Opening at 14.5. That's insane. That's a big number. But I do think the Packers are going to win big. They should win big, whether it's Joe Flacco, no matter who it is playing. I think it's hard. This is not Madden where you can just bring in quarterbacks and be like, all right, you plug them in there, and then everything's going to be fine. There'll be a lot of mistakes. Obviously, like I say, he's a vet, so he can figure some stuff out. But Joe Flacco coming in there isn't going to make the difference for the Bengals. And I actually feel very bad for Bengals fans because Joe Burrow going down. That's horrible. Like when you lose your franchise quarterback, it's not the first time. Like I feel like they're fired up. They're like, hey, we're gonna do some stuff, and then that injury it's just brutal. They got the wide receivers, they got the equipment, but you got to have that quarterback, and they don't have that right now. But so there you go.
Matt,
So what do you got?
before you get too carried away right here, there was something that did happen this last weekend. You brought it up, and there was a difference between Cubs fans and Brewer fans.
What do we
And there's
got?
videos that have been circulating online, so I thought I'd bring that up for you.
There we go. Let's get it.
Green Bay sucks! 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 Green Bay sucks!
That's the difference right here. That's the difference between Illinois fans in general and the whole state always doing that Green Bay sucks chant. Leaving. I think that was after a Cubs victory, and then you go and look at what are the Brewers chanting? Let's go Brewers. We don't think about Illinois or the Bears like all the time. Whenever I make a video talking about the Bears, Bear fans always like we're always on your mind, but like literally, dude, you guys chant Green Bay sucks at like Little League games. You're chanting them over at the Cubs game. That has nothing to do with the Packers, and that's all cool. You know what I mean? Stay talking about it. You know what I mean? Because that's what you do. You got daddy issues. That's the problem with Illinois fans. You know what I mean? Because I don't even say Chicago, Illinois, just in general. The whole sports community. I'm talking Little League all the way to the NFL, MLB, whatever professional leagues you got over there, keeps Green Bay, this little old town in Wisconsin, Green Bay, on your mind. You know what I mean? So enjoy, dude. That is a hilarious video that Vince put together because. That is absolutely like what it is. Every time you see like at a sporting event, when they're leaving, they automatically just chant "Green Bay sucks." It's a fabulous thing, dude. And you know what I mean? Chicago sucks. The Bears suck, dude.
They chant that, and look at the standings right here.
Yeah. Yeah, right here. We got the standings over here. We got Chicago 2-2, Green Bay 2-1-1, with the Lions at 4-1. There's no more undefeated teams in the NFC. Over here, you got the Eagles 4-1. The Eagles lost. And they're on the game ahead of Washington over there. Who else we got over here? Tampa Bay Buccaneers 4-1. I think Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to team, dude, to watch out for in the NFC. Baker Mayfield, like what he's doing over there. I mean, the whole team, they got some stuff going over there. And then the Niners are 4-1 over there. I don't like the Niners at all. Seattle Seahawks 3-2. So the NFC is going to be interesting. I think that Thanksgiving game, Detroit Green Bay, is going to be interesting to see where both those teams are at that time. But Packers, dude, I fully expect them to go on a little run right here. The 4-game stretch. I made a post about this on Facebook. The next 4 games for the Packers. What is it? It's the Bengals. It's the I think it's Arizona's in there. Oh yeah, we got the schedule right here. I don't know. The schedule is actually on the screen, and I wasn't even looking at it. Here we go. So let's see. We got the Bengals. We got Arizona, Pittsburgh, and Carolina. All right. So the Bengals, I think all 4 of these I think are winnable games. But Arizona is a good football team. Arizona can make some stuff happen. Obviously, Pittsburgh is going to be a huge game. I'm going to see Aaron Rodgers. And that is at Pittsburgh. That's gonna be a tough game. But like when I said it's winnable, everyone's like Pittsburgh's gonna be tough. Yeah, absolutely. Pittsburgh is gonna be a tough game, but I think it's a winnable game. They're gonna be jacked up as much as Aaron Rodgers is gonna kind of want to beat the Packers. Everyone wants to beat the team that they used to play for, even if there's no hate there. It's just they want to beat that team. You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna be a tough team. I think Tomlin's a good coach, and then you got Carolina, who's just not a good football team. I think that they might have won. They just slid past someone, which is embarrassing for that team. I wasn't it Miami, yeah, and even Miami's coach, he took the glasses off walking out of the stadium. He wasn't very happy about that one. That's funny. Like SportsCenter had that. He took off his glasses, and it's like, oh, now it's serious business. But yeah, so what do you think? Hammer the chat. Let me know. But I think the Packers, I think they walk away. I think at least 3-1 coming out of these next 4 games. Because like I'm not saying that they're gonna like win out the rest of the season. Like they're gonna have some splits. But I feel like coming out of the bye week, they're getting some people back. We got the injury situation. I don't know. I don't think that we know too much right now who's gonna play and whatever. But Christian Watson, he's back practicing. You know what I mean? He's back at practice. And what do you think about Christian Watson and when he'll play? I think he's going to be playing not this week. I think he's going to come back, practice. And I've seen Aaron Nagler, a lot of other people talk about this. But I think it's kind of obvious like that they would bring him back, let him practice, let him get accumulated. You know what I mean? They're not going to just throw him out there right away. And then I would expect him to play that next week. So I don't think that you're going to see Christian Watson playing in this Bengals game. But him coming back, though, Christian Watson being on the field with Matthew Golden, this opens up this offense. People can make all the jokes they want about Christian Watson. They all like to talk about the injuries and whatnot. But when he's on the field, the defense has to respect him, his speed, and having multiple fast guys will be good. And obviously, Jayden Reed not being in the lineup. Having Christian Watson back is going to be huge. But I don't think it's going to happen versus the Cincinnati Bengals. You know what I mean? When is Zach Tom going to be back? We got a comment over here. And I'm not sure. I think he's going to be back for this game, but I don't know for a factual. Maybe Vince can kind of look that up and see if he's practicing and whatnot. It's early in the week, so I'm not sure that we're going to know a whole bunch. But Zach Tom, I feel like, and I think it's Banks who's banged up on the offensive line. Offensive line is key. Like we've seen what, how it affected the Packers. They were absolutely dominated against the Browns, and they got to get the offensive line right. Absolutely. But I expect them to, though. Coming out of our bye, that's what people get a little bit healthier, not just offensive line, everyone, because, bye week's kind of early. Everyone talks about how it's, it's horrible, like seeing that schedule when the schedule is released, but it has its perks, too. But we're going to...
It looks like Tom and Banks both returned to practice today for the offensive line.
There you go. So Tom and Banks both returned to practice. I should have looked that up earlier, but I took a nap. I had some stuff to do. Dude, that game stream last night, I had like three hours of sleep. But anyways, but yeah, I think if they're both back and they're going to play, that's going to be huge. Packers got to get their offensive line like figured out, and they need to keep them healthy and keep people in the same spot. Let them own a position, kind of like moving people around all the time because of injuries. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's good, especially like for younger players. Jordan Morgan, let him like just dominate one position without bouncing them all over the place. But absolutely, you know what I mean. We'll see who we get back on it coming off injuries, and I expect the Packers to win. The Bengals aren't a good football team right now. They're beat up. They're favored. The Packers are favored by 14.5. Which let's talk about that for a minute, because being favored by 14.5 is absolutely insane. I would never I wouldn't. I don't know. I get it. Like I've made predictions before. The Packers are going to win by 40. You know what I mean? But being favored by 14.5, I actually don't like it that much because it makes me feel some type of way like some bad stuff's about to happen. But I'm being optimist. I think the Packers win big. They probably do win by a couple touchdowns, but to be favored by that much, I don't. Usually teams aren't favored to win by 14.5. We're going to see. Maybe this Joe Flacco addition changes that a little bit. I don't know for sure he's going to play though. Like, do you think he's going to play? Maybe he does, but like I say, I think he can kind of step in and do that. But yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? What else we got there, Vinny?
Well, we do have the AFC
Yeah,
standings also.
Yeah, let's check that out. The Buffalo Bills over here, 4-1. New England Patriots 3-2, and then the other two teams fighting for nothing. Steelers are 3-1. Cincinnati Bengals 2-3. Soon to be worse, you know what I mean? The Ravens though 1-4. That's like I think the biggest surprise of the season. The Baltimore Ravens being 1-4. I have Lamar Jackson in my fantasy team, so I kind of watch that team, and not looking good for them. I feel like they have a team that they can bounce back. Lamar, obviously, they got some injuries over there. They got to get through over there. But the Ravens, I don't know. That's a shocker. And then the Indianapolis Colts, I think on the good side, people would say the Colts are that surprise team. They're 4-1. They're getting after. And Jacksonville Jaguars 4-1. You know, I watched that's the thing about doing these live streams, doing more and more live streams for the games. You kind of get watching more games like in detail. And the Jaguars are a team, dude. I think they look good. I mean, I won't get carried away. I saw people on Twitter like getting crazy. They're going to the Super Bowl, whatever. But I think that they're showing some stuff. They got to clean up some mistakes. Clean up those mistakes, and the Jaguars are going to be a dangerous team. Then the Houston Texans, they won a game, but they're still 2-3. Let's jump down to the AFC West. The Chargers are 3-2. Denver 3-2. So that whole division, not looking good. And the Chiefs are not looking good, dude. And people can say what they want, dude. The Chiefs didn't belong to be in that football game. They weren't the better team. They lost for a reason, and it shouldn't have even been that close. The Chiefs are not looking good right now, and they need to figure that out. I think the Chiefs are one of those teams, kind of like the Patriots, old teams, that you can't ever bet against them because they can pop up and they can start throwing the points up. They can start getting after it. But right now, dude, watching that game, wasn't real good, but we have I think we have a live stream with them next week, isn't it? Do the Lions play the Chiefs?
The Lions do play on Sunday, yes. We were
So
talking about doing like 2 games on Sunday, possibly, yes.
Yeah, so the whole watch party situation, I think we're gonna do back to back. I think I've done it before, but I don't usually do back to back. But the Packers game is a noon game, right?
The Packers are a 3:25 game, and then let's see here.
Oh yeah, and then the Lions game is Sunday Night Football, I think.
Is Sunday Night Football, Lions, Chiefs. And then there were 2 on Monday night, which was the Bills and the Falcons is for the early, and then the Bears Commanders, and we decided to do the Bears Commanders.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Sunday, we're going to be doing the Packer game, 3:30. Then Sunday Night Football, Lions, Chiefs, and then Monday Night Football, we'll be doing the later game. Yeah, I think those are going to be good games. You know what I mean? Philly Jones is in the building. He said Chiefs will be slaughtered this week. I don't think the Chiefs are good right now. Unless they can figure it out, unless they can turn this thing around, it's not looking good. But because like we were just talking about the Packers' schedule, right? Obviously went through the last 4 games, but even after that, what is that? Week 10 over there. They got the Eagles, they got the Vikings, Lions, Bears, Broncos, Bears, Ravens, Vikings. Like how it looks right now, if you just kind of just glancing at it, Eagles are a good team. Vikings are kind of like could be good. I would say because it's a division game, it's always going to be a little bit tough. Same with the Lions. That'll be a baller game against the Lions over there Thanksgiving. And then the Bears, the Bears suck, but it's a division game. Broncos, I don't think are going to do anything. And then we played the Bears again. Seems like we played the Bears like so a lot right there. I don't like how they do it like bunch them up like that. You played a team twice. Why not spread it out a little bit? Spread the love, you know what I mean? Ravens ain't looking good right now. I expect them to kind of turn that around. They'll probably have some injuries, some guys coming back, but it's week 17. Are they even going to be in it? You know what I mean? Then the Vikings to end the season. I think that game will be meaningful for the Packers. I'm not sure it'll be meaningful for the Vikings, but let's get to some chat over here. Let's see what people are talking about. Packers have championship team. The addition of Parsons is huge and will matter come postseason. Yeah, it absolutely will, because the addition of Parsons, like, not just him, it's what he does for the defense. Rashawn Gary's among the leaders in sacks this year. Like, he's opened it up for a lot of other people. And I think just feel like that attitude and that leadership in the locker room. A lot of people want to tell you that Parsons bad for a locker room. He's not. It's not real. I mean, obviously there were some situations in Dallas. That's why he got traded. But like that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen in Green Bay. I think the Packers are going to be a scary team. They just got to get the injuries calmed down and get the penalty situation figured out. And obviously the special teams, that's what's going on with special teams. If you're going to allow blocked kicks and you're going to allow long returns, your special teams, like, how is the special teams garbage, like, since forever? Like, the special teams is just, like, infuriating, because, like, it's supposed to be good. They're supposed to have this figured out. That's why we have the highest paid special teams coordinator in the league. But still isn't figured out. But have faith, you know what I mean? We're going to see if they can figure this out. All right, so we're going to get to some more comments over here. Mr. Steeler fan, Josh Jacobs turned his whole career around in Green Bay. Love has proven he can play. I have questions with the head coach, but he is a good at what he does, but just questionable at times. And that's the thing with Matt LaFleur. I love me some Matt LaFleur. And people don't call me a Matt LaFleur defender. You know what I mean? But I like Matt LaFleur, but he's not perfect. He makes mistakes. I don't really like how he handles some clock management, some game situations at the end of the game. And, like, we are the youngest team in the league, but, like, we've been for like 3 years. So, like, we have to figure this stuff out. We should be really good at coaching a young team, you know what I mean? So that's not an excuse. And he said that too, you know what I mean? They have to clean up a lot of stuff. Matt LaFleur, he needs to take to the next level. I'm getting sick of, like, hearing about, that's on me, that's a mistake or whatever. But we got faith in our coach, but Matt LaFleur needs to.
So Matt,
what do you got?
Speaking of the schedule and how we just came off the bye, where you're talking about they have to clean up everything and work on stuff and correct things, are you in favor of an early bye week or a late bye week? Do you think it's beneficial to have it early or later?
I think usually it's going to be later, but when you have it early, like the Packers have it early, then you get some injuries, and I think every team gets injuries, so then they're always like, oh, good thing we got an early bye week, you know what I mean? So I think if I got to choose at the beginning of the season, I would say later. But this season, early is actually pretty beneficial.
So that'd be a good one for everybody to kind of chat on. Now, I do have a picture here that shows winning percentages of teams that have their buys at certain weeks, how their winning percentage was after that week. And surprisingly enough, after week 5 is one of the higher ones.
Yeah.
For winning percentage.
Yeah, so winning percentage 567 coming out of week 5. Week 6 goes 530, then week 7 480. Yeah. So week 8 is 575. But yeah, I think early bye week, I think people don't like it, but I think it usually kind of benefits them. But I think coming out of the bye week, like, you should win. Like, you had an extra week, depending on, like, if you won or lost, but even after a loss, you should be just dialed in, or a tie. You should be dialed in. You should be, like, angry. You should be like, hey, we're better than this. So I feel like everyone, I remember, like, Mike McCarthy had a really great record after the bye week back in the day. You should be, though. You should have a good record after the bye. You got time, baby. But big shout out over here, Doug Hype TV, Ramage Damage Time, you know what I mean? Let's get to some more comments over here. The Packers are one of the most complete teams in the NFL in terms of talent on both sides of the ball. They may not have a true number one, but they do have it is a collection of good receivers. They absolutely do. And Christian Watts come back. And I think Christian Watts can be a number one. And I really don't care, like, who number one is, like, who they want to call the number one. They do have a good collection. Like, a couple years ago, we kind of said that didn't work out. I think it was last year. We were like, we don't have number one. We don't need one. They were like, yeah, maybe we do. We need kind of someone to step up into tough situations. Doesn't always have to be the same person, but you need someone that's, hey, all right, it's 3rd and 8. You know what I mean? It's we need this first down. We need it. Like, get the ball to me. I will catch it. You know what I mean? You kind of need someone who has that type of swagger, you know what I mean? Well, we got Doug Hype over here with that $2 over here, super chat over on YouTube. We need to step up and be a smart physical team, you know what I mean? Shout out to Doug Hype. I appreciate you, baby. You know what I mean? I didn't mean to call you baby right there. But absolutely we do. We need to be a smart, disciplined team. The Packers need and be physical, get after them. I think that defense is pretty physical, but they just need to be smart, play fast. Be the team that you're supposed to be. You have the dudes, you have the players. Go out there and do it. Like everyone's gonna talk about the Browns like for the rest, for the next coming weeks for sure. But if the Packers start winning, that's all gonna be forgotten. Who cares? Because good teams lose to bad teams sometimes. But now it's time. All right, now it's time to get a nice little run going here. You have a 4-game stretch of winnable games. Obviously, the Steelers are in there. That's going to be more one of the more difficult ones. But go out here and show everyone what you are. You know what I mean? Dude, I feel like this team has the confidence. They have that swagger. So go out here, punch people in the face, not literally, but get some dubs. You know what I mean? Phil Jones says, take that schedule 4 chunks at a time. I like the early bye. Conditioning issues still rear their ugly heads in the first 4 weeks. Yeah, and that's the thing, too, you think about with the early buys is because most teams don't play their guys in preseason. So you usually do have some injuries coming up on the first 4 weeks. So you get that early bye, you got to get some guys. But like later in the season, you're probably going to get dinged up again because that's just the NFL. And then, might be a problem later on because you don't have that late bye over here. Rocco says they can't let Flacco win twice. Nah, first of all, Joe Flacco, we kind of talked about this earlier, but Joe Flacco, he ain't bringing that Browns defense, dude. I mean, I don't think the Bengals, like I say, I feel for Bengals fans, shout out to Bengals fans, so I'm not going to over here and like trash the Bengals, but they're just not a good football team right now. They lost their quarterback. They're losing games. They're not close. It's brutal. And I feel for dude. That's why I never. It's almost like when you see someone like on the side of the highway you're driving by and they got a flat tire. I just try to think positive thoughts. Like, man, good luck, dude. I hope everything works out for you. You know what I mean? Because I don't want that karma creeping up over you. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's how it is when you see another team getting major players get injured. You're just like, I hope for the best for them because that could come to your team and then your season's just done. We've been there as Packer fans. They tried too hard and overran plays the last 2 games. You know what I mean? They, that goes back to like just play disciplined football, dude. I mean, I get it. It's a young team, but they got leadership on this team. They have vets. They've been the young team, so like these coaches should know how to coach a young team like better than most young teams because like it's every year. It's always the same. What's up, Mark? He says, the last 2 Packers-Bengals games have gone to overtime. The Packers won both. Go Pack, go. Hopefully this game doesn't go to overtime. Man, I'm over overtime games. You know what I mean? Especially Sunday we'll be doing the later game, so hopefully it doesn't go to overtime. The Browns game was a trap game, classic trap game. I don't really like the term trap game, and I know everyone uses it, but I feel like the players in that locker room, like how can you like – I don't think that they're thinking, well, that this team isn't very good. We don't even have to practice this week. I feel like they're still dialed in. I think that's more of a fan thing, like that a thing we do. But maybe though, what do I know? I've never been an athlete in my life. But I just feel like I don't think teams and coaches and in a locker room are taking teams lightly. But maybe. I mean, it sure seemed like it. I don't even think it was that. I just think that defensive line just overpowered the Packers with the injuries, and the Packers' offensive line just wasn't good enough. They played horribly that game. Here we go. Donnie says, how bad did losing Kenny, in your opinion, truly affect the run game? It's different with the moving parts. I think Wyatt did all right. He was over there, and he got hurt. But I don't think it was like catastrophic losing Kenny Clark. I love Kenny Clark. But I think that, they had guys in place. Plus, I think Parsons, having that edge rush, that kind of helps too. But obviously, the Packers are better if Kenny Clark was on the Packers. They would be a better team. But having Parsons, I don't have any regrets. Hopefully, he's balling over there. You know what I mean? I hope he's having a good time. What is up, Karen? She says, hey guys, go Pack, go. I'm late. You know what I mean? You're late. Better late than never, though. You know what I mean? Mr. Tiller says, bye week, a game, and then Thursday game is great for another 10-day rest. Yeah, that's the thing with those primetime games. You kind of get on the Thursday games, kind of get a little bit of rest. I mean, it's kind of a quick week to, especially if you're coming out of a bye, but they're not in this one. But anyways, here we go. Philly boy. Bengals will prop up Sean Clifford to win in Lambeau. Who do you think is going to be the starting quarterback for the Bengals? coming this week. People are talking about maybe it's Sean Clifford. That would be interesting. And then I would like it. I hope it is Sean Clifford, his quarterback in the Bengals. So everyone who says that back in the day the Packers should start Sean Clifford over Jordan Love can see what they really were looking at. You know what I mean? I would hope, and I ain't got no hate for Sean Clifford. Absolutely none at all. He didn't do anything wrong. But some of the fans who were like talking about Jordan Love and like, oh, they should put Sean Clifford in. Bench Jordan Love. All right. Let Sean Clifford play the Packers defense and see what happens. You know what I mean? Say all love to Sean Clifford.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Have a good time, but not this week. Ain't gonna happen. Not on this defense. You know what I mean? Mr. Steeler fan, the Packers week 10 through 18 is rough. Huge test for a championship team. Yeah, we have that schedule right here. What are we talking about? Week 10, Eagles. Then we go Vikings, Lions, Bears, Broncos, Bears, Ravens, Vikings. Yeah, so the Eagles are a really good team. Like we talked about this a little bit ago. Vikings, Lions are going to be. The Broncos are not, I don't think. Bears are the Bears. Ravens could be. Very good team, but they're not doing good right now. And then we got the Vikings again, but we will see. We will see. Our run game was elite the first 2 games. I mean, the Lions, I think the Lions and a lot of these teams, that's their goal is to shut down the run game. Josh Jacobs, they've been kind of grinding at it. And later in the games, it seems like they kind of got that run game going a little bit. But teams are definitely trying to take the Josh Jacobs away. You know what I mean? And also, big shout out for that $2, baby. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, Doug Hype. I don't know why I keep calling you baby. I don't know why. Mr. Josh Jacobs is going to have a career game against the Bengals. I'm with it. I want them to get this run game going. I think the run game is huge because you obviously work off the play action on that. I feel like that's what where Matt LaFleur's offense kind of shines, is getting that run game going. Doug Hype says, I mean our run defense. All right, Doug Hype, I had you all wrong on that. They were stopping the run too over there. I think that's the most important thing to a game. Can you run the ball offensively, and can you stop the run offensively? So it's the defensive line, I think that's the keys to the game. Whoever controls that line, I think, wins games. You know what I mean? Not always, because sometimes you're just better overall. Like the Browns aren't particularly a good team, but their defense was just ferocious, and especially on that day. See, we're still talking about it. People mention it to me every single day. I can't get it out of my mind. That's why I need the Packers to go on a little run right here. All right, Matty LaFleur, go on a little run, baby. Go on a little run, get a nice little 3-4 game stretch. Go in there and beat Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh and handle some business. That's not one game at a time. Dude, that's the thing right here I want to talk about real quick. People, when I talk about stuff, and then they'll be like, one game at a time, we can't get ahead of ourselves. Yes, we can, dude. I don't play for the team. Yes, the team has to go one game at a time. But people on the radio are talking about, stuff we're a podcast. I'm in my basement, dude. It doesn't matter. I'm not affecting the game. Don't tell me to go one game at a time. And I do anyways. I'm not talking about, obviously we're talking about the schedule. We're kind of looking ahead, what could be. But us talking about potentially, the Steelers and what the record will be when they face them and what will the Steelers record be. It doesn't matter because we don't play, dude. We're not in the building. You know what I mean? Philly Boy says brought in 4 D linemen for tryouts this week. There you go. So so I don't know. Do we know the injury situation on Wyatt? He was hurt. I should have had the injury list up here. Not prepared as I could be, you know what I mean? But I know Wyatt got dinged up. We will see. Plus, it's so early in the week; they don't really have to reveal too much. So they're gonna have their injury reports. We'll see the Wednesday injury report come out tomorrow, and we'll find out more about that. But that defensive line, that inner little thing. If Wyatt's hurt, that's not good. That's not good at all. I see Vince back here doing some work over here. What's he grinding around?
Wyatt is questionable.
All right.
It looks like that's his status. Zach Tom, questionable. Anthony Belton, questionable. Aaron Banks, questionable. Nate Hobbs, questionable. And obviously, they're still considering Watson to be out for the game. So you were right about that. They're going to be pretty cautious with him. And Monk was put on injured reserve, the center.
There you go, dude. All right, we got that. Not quite breaking news, but kind of. You know what I mean? It's nice having a producer who can just look stuff up. Phil said, "Do weather persons go one day at a time? Extended forecast is always 1 week. You know what I mean? Dude, it drives me nuts with the one game at a time thing. It drives me nuts, and I get it. Like for a team, you're not gonna see like Matt LaFleur be like, "Hey, I can't wait to play the Steelers." They're not talking about games ahead of time. But like as fans, like we can do whatever we want. Sometimes people like take this too serious. Like we're just fans. We're just dudes talking, dudes and ladies talking about football. I'm in a basement. You know what I mean? That's I think where most podcasts arrive, from a basement, an attic, some old room nobody uses. You know what I mean? It's not that serious. It's not that serious. But Philly Boy says Wyatt still not practicing. That's not good. If he's not practicing, he says he's questionable. It's not looking good. I think if you're not practicing, but it is, like I say, early in the week. We're gonna figure this stuff out. So tomorrow night we're gonna be doing the Pick'em show at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. We're gonna be picking all the games for this week. And actually, before we talk about that, Phil, Mr. Vinny, let's talk about how we did this last week on our picks.
Well, and speaking of picks,
see,
speaking of picks, okay, all right. We do have the current standings, and even after that horrible week in the NFL, where a lot of us on the top got our what's handed to us, we're still on top. I'm still there, tied on top, believe it or not.
Let's check out the first place, folks. You know what I mean? We got Blake Johnson. These are all tied for first. Brian, let me get his name right. Hookstra.
It looks like Hookstra. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got half-eaten urinal cake. Dude, shout out to half-eaten urinal cake. I ain't gonna lie to you. Half-eaten urinal cake, I'm rooting for you, dude. I'm rooting for you. And then we got Steve Zybell, who is Vinny, who is the producer.
Don't tell anybody. That's my secret identity.
They all know, dude. They all know. So he's in here. And then we got Brett Hansen. He's tied for fifth with Camden Lawrence. Yeah, we got, I'm not going to read all of them, but Eric Early's in fifth. I know him. Shout out to Eric. And, so where am I?
Oh, we need to find you towards the bottom here.
Yeah. While you scrolling, like you playing Wheel of Fortune.
There you go.
I'm tied
no whammies. Give it to me.
So I want to give a shout out to my 125th people. You know what I mean? So who we got? We got at the top, Christopher Rainwater. All right. Oh, there's a lot of 125th.
Oh, there's a lot of them, yeah.
All right, we don't have to.
Oh, there you go. There's the top one. Andrew Freeman is the top one.
Andrew Freeman over here. Angela Huffman, Billy Frank, Christopher Rainwater, Eric Larson, Jason. That moved, but
Weremeyer.
Yeah, we won't read them all. There's a whole bunch, but those are my people. Randy Van Ark, you know what I mean? 125th in the Pick'em League. Those are my people, you know what I mean? That's where those are the people that I could talk football with, because you don't want to talk football with people who know too much. You like to be right sometimes, you know what I mean? But so tomorrow we will be live 7:30 p.m. Central Time doing the picks for next week. Big shout to everyone who's killing it over there in the picks. There's people who I never even knew where am I pick'em. There's a supervisor at my job who's in the pick'em league. He's like, yeah, I'm in your pick'em league. I did all right, whatever. And I'm like, that's awesome. There's a lot of people. I think there's over 300 people who are active in that thing. I'm not really sure. So I'm better than half of them maybe. But I assume the people after me, those are the people that forget to make their picks, and I've never missed one because I do the Pick'em show. So that's just me being wrong, not even forgetting. You know what I mean? So there we go. How long is Jaden Reed out? So he's on IR, right? So I think he's going to be out. I think they had to read. I think he's out for the season, isn't he? Late November, Phil says. I assume he's responding to that, but I wasn't sure if they had to have more, medical stuff going on with them than they thought, but we'll see. I trust Phil. Phil said last week I got 4 correct. I feel like last week on for NFL picks, if you knew what you're talking about, you got less right than and if you got a lot right, you might be an idiot. You know what I mean? That's why you were right that week. That's how I try to figure stuff out. You know what I mean? Like, that team didn't win, but they were supposed to. So screw them for not winning. You know what I mean? That's on them, not me. Bumped down to 37th, but only down 3. There you go, Phil. We have faith. Phil actually is one of the probably knows more about football than most people we talk to over here. You know what I mean? He knows ball. Phil knows ball over there. There we go. Karen says she's at number 173. Top is 54. I'm at 51. So yeah, you don't have far to go, Phil. You just got to get. You have to have a good week and maybe have some of these other folks at the top stumble a little bit. I'm not getting anywhere near the top. I'm bad at picks. I remember one time at work, that they do picks at work. I don't know. I think it's illegal. I'm not involved in it. You know what I mean? I would never get involved in that type of situation. No, but they do picks at work. Remember back in the day, years ago, there was this girl. She was like, "Hey, I don't really watch football, but I'm going to pick. Can you make my picks for me?" Because she's like, stuff. I think that was kind of when I was first starting a podcast, do Packer stuff, right? And then so I go and I circle, and I just go through it. I just make all her picks for her. She got the most picks wrong out of everyone in the whole league, in the whole place. Aww. And then they're all laughing at her. And she's like, "No, Matt picks." I'm like, "I ain't doing nothing. I don't know what she's talking about. This lady must be on something. Don't drag me down in your loserville." You know what I mean? But no one, and she never asked me to make her picks again. You know what I mean? So Donnie said only got 7 right last week. Worst week. Yeah. I don't know what I got. I think I got like 5 or 6 right. I don't remember exactly. I think I got about the same as everyone else. We're all really smart. But so come hang out with us tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. We got the Pick'em show coming, and then Thursday Night Football. Come rock with us. You know what I mean? Who do we got playing, Vince, for Thursday Night Football?
2 NFL teams.
Yeah, we don't know who they are right now, but we will be here for Thursday Night Football. I forget what game that was.
See, this is why I make the big bucks. Yeah, this is
what I mean. That's why I pay him in stickers, but I might have to throw in a shirt every now and
again. We have the Eagles at Giants.
Eagles at Giants. That should be a decent one. I think the Eagles are going to dominate that one. But Thursday Night Football, come hang out. We got a watch party, and then Sunday we have the Packers watch party. And then after that, we're going to do Sunday Night Football for the Bears at Commanders, I think. And I do want to give a shout out right to the Ask Your Mother Band. Ask Your Mother Band, my buddy, Eric Rasak is the lead singer, Ask Your Mother Band. The whole band is awesome, legendary. I watched them perform at Stadium View during the draft, and I've seen other shows. They're absolutely epic band. They're so fun. Eric does a great job getting the crowd hype and whatnot. But they're going to be playing at the Resch Center on Sunday on game day. The game's at Lambeau Field. So right across the street from Lambeau Field, Ask Your Mother Band is playing. Go check them out. You know what I mean? And let them know that I sent you. You don't got to do that. But definitely you check them out. They're a fantastic band. They do such a great job. So shout out to Ask Your Mother Band. You know what? The reason they had their band name is Ask Your Mother, because when people would say, "Hey, what's your band's name?" they would say, "Ask Your Mother." And that's hilarious to me. And that just alone, I've had Eric Rasak over on the podcast before. So, yeah. Go check them out. If you're going to the Packer game, wander over across the street. Here we go. Let's see what Phil's talking about over here. He says, Conor McGregor suspended 18 months for uncle for missing doping test. What's going on here? Conor McGregor. I don't know what's going on. I think we got some beef going on in the comment section. All right, so I think we're gonna wrap this thing up. But I appreciate everyone who's rocking with me. If you're listening on the podcast, be sure to subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, wherever, subscribe to the podcast, The Matt Ramage Show, available everywhere that you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google, all the places. Be sure to do it, and tap that like button, share, you know what I mean? Spread the love around a little bit, people, you know what I mean? And come hang out this Sunday. Packers watch party. Green Bay Packers, Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be a really fun game. We got some great graphics, you know what I mean? And we got the Bears game on Sunday Night Football, you know what I mean? We got a little Bears still game going on, you know what I mean? Come hang out with us this weekend and throughout the whole week. We got a lot of live streams coming, you know what I mean? Go Pack, go, and we will see you Sunday. I appreciate everyone who's chatting up in the live stream, Karen, Phil, all the peeps, you know what I mean? Kevin's in the building, Donnie, I appreciate all the comments. You guys are all fantastic, and you know what I mean? See you tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Go Pack, go.